on this edition of ET Now Go, we would be showcasing one of the most iconic brands of India. What makes Amul the taste of India? The projected turnover of Gujarat Milk Federation this year is expected to cross nearly 50,000 crore. What makes it unique? What really is the secret formula or ingredient which ensures that this company is growing and will continue to grow at a rate which is nearly double that of the industry average? How Amul has really become Ghar Ghar Ki Kahani, from humble beginnings to now presence in 50 countries. What is this golden thread which has connected Amul? It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Jayen Mehta, CEO and the man who really runs world's largest dairy cooperative. We all know the brand, we all enjoy the brand, but very little has been spoken about the complex supply chain which Amul manages. What is easy is very complicated, but his team and him, they made a very complicated process look very easy. So we are the chocolate factory of Amul, and I must say, sir, I'm on the wrong side of 40, as they say. But for at my age also, I feel like वो बच्चों की कहानी होती है ना, पिक्चर हमने देखी थी, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes.
So I'm excited about like a kid, and you are the Charlie today for us.
Yes. and we get to be here every day. So that's the best part of this. So don't worry, you'll never grow old when you are here.
What started as a need? Get farmers together, take the middleman out, support income. Now Amul has not become a national brand, it has become a global brand. And it has become a global brand in a, what is this?
This is where the chocolate comes in, okay? And what was mixed there, okay, is all come together. Okay. The fineness of the chocolate is done through these refiners, and from there it will go further, and it will the nice smooth taste of chocolate which melts in the mouth. That's the feeling you get once the process goes on. This is the real chocolate. These are the refiners in which the chocolate goodness is measured by how fast it will melt in your mouth. And that's where you get the very nice chocolate, which is molded, and then we scrap it and eat it. We have tied with a cooperative in South India called Campo. This plant is 50 years old. Once the final chocolate comes, this is the molding line. This is where the molding happening. The chocolate is molded, and once the molded chocolates are there, we have packing lines. Depending on the recipe of the chocolate, you start doing that. Inclusions are added with the final state, but this is where is the final chocolate which is coming in.
Why Amul has been so successful? In dairy, your objective is not to make money. You buy milk at the highest price, you sell it at the lowest price, and you are competing with companies which in a sense are global giants. And yet Amul is now market leader in just about every category. Why has Amul been such a great success story?
The two basic reasons to it. A is the model of cooperatives, which you just mentioned, and second is the purpose built in the organization. So Amul started in the year 1946 to prevent the exploitation of farmers at the hands of the middlemen. And from there, purpose has been built into this organization. You can see at this logo of Kerala District Cooperative, the Amul dairy which is started, you can see 4 hands here. So these are the 4 hands, one for the farmer, one for the processor, third for the marketeer, and fourth for the consumer. So though it's a cooperative, it realizes it's not working only for itself. It has to look after all the 4 partners or the members of this entire supply chain and work towards their benefit. And more importantly, as a farmer-owned organization, it had to see that the returns on the milk which is produced by the farmers continue to grow on year-on-year basis. So today, as consumers, if you pay 100 rupees on Amul products, 80% of it goes back to the farmer.
80 rupees, 100 rupees of the total revenue, not profit.
Not revenue. Profit to 100% farmers ke paas hi jata, because there is no other way you can take out any of the money. But with this entire objective of passing on the largest share of the consumer, and believe me, in Europe, in US, any developed country, be it Oceania region, producer gets only 1/3 of what a consumer pays. India, it is more than two-thirds. It's 70 to 80%. So this is where the model benefits the consumer, because the consumer gets the best quality products at the most affordable prices. Producer is benefited because he gets the highest price of consumer's rupee. Brand benefits because it gets a larger market, a larger share, opportunity to serve more number of customers continuously, and assure a strong future for the farmers. So it's genuinely a win-win situation. The cooperative model has proved to be a very source of strength, which is now being replicated across various sectors also.
When you are going to other states, for example, a state of Maharashtra, a state of Tamil Nadu, historically they've had cooperatives.
Yes.
Right? So are you competing with the old cooperatives of those states?
There is no competition between cooperatives per se. We look at it in a totality. Amul has 70% or more share of the marketable surplus in the state of Gujarat. There are many states in which the state cooperatives have not been so strong. Historical reasons, plus Amul has been for 77 years, they've been for less number of years. So the share of cooperatives in the total milk procurement in many of the states is as low as 2%, 5%, 10%. So when two cooperatives are there in a particular state, the farmers get benefit of a cooperative model which is double than what it was legacy-wise. We work closely with every single state wherever we procure outside it. In the market also, we never compete with them. And see, together we are able to strengthen the cooperation presence in the respective states, give more options to the farmers, and fight out the private vendors, private buyers of milk tooth and nail.
When do you see Amul crossing that magical number of 1 lakh crore?
Well, numbers are a result of what we do. The year which just ended in March, our total sales turnover of GCF is about 59,250 crores. Amul brand turnover, which was 72,000 crores last year, is almost 80,000 crores. So we have this target to achieve this number of 1 lakh crores by the year in the next 2 years, which is 26-27, and I'm very sure that we are on the right track to do that.
You were a milk cooperative. Now you've diversified into cheese, chocolate, ice cream. You're moving into protein. You're moving into other lines of milk also. How much of your turnover is coming from milk? How much is coming from value added?
Milk is actually the best form of value addition, because we sell close to 170 to 180 lakh liters of milk every day. Half of our total turnover comes from milk. And when you sell milk as fresh milk, there is no inventory. You get the cash immediately. So, and there is no volatility in prices. So to ask me, pouch milk is the best form of value addition. Half of our turnover comes from fresh milk, and the other half comes from the variety of products that we have made, milk powders or butter or cheese or ice creams or mithais and so on and so forth. So it's a very balanced portfolio, and the opportunity of growth in both the spaces.
Why are milk prices so volatile? I mean, we see they keep on going up and down. The average movement every year is about 15 to 20%.
No. As far as we are concerned, our farmers continue to get a high price of milk. So our farmers don't see reduction in price of milk ever, because there is a strong market there. Commodity prices have a tendency to go up and down. Today, if you ask me, the skim milk powder prices globally are at a 5-year low. The butter prices are at a 5-year high. So these things happen in the international market depending on the international situation, the buyer-seller requirements and so on. Amul fortunately has a very little commodity exposure. It's all a branded play. Because of that, we are able to get the best price and not depend on commodity markets. Whatever commodities we sell is through an auction portal which we run, which is Amul Dairy Trade Portal, where also we get the best price for all the products that are put in commodities.
How much of Indian milk market is still dominated by unorganized players? Har jagah that change is happening. What is the status in India?
So typically India produces 230 million metric ton of milk in a year. Milk is the largest agricultural crop of India. The value of output of milk is more than wheat, paddy, oilseeds put together. So 10 lakh crore ka market hai, of which 1/3 of the milk is retained by the farmer in the village, is his own consumption. About of the surplus which comes in, 1/4 goes to the organized sector.
This chocolate ka,
so this is the India origin chocolate,
okay,
which I mentioned to you about it,
okay,
and it is from the Karavali region of South Karnataka.
So everything about this chocolate is Indian?
Yes, everything about it is Indian.
The cocoa beans,
yes,
to the sugar,
yes,
to the
yes,
milk,
yes,
and to the everything
yes,
is about. So this is truly taste of India, made in India.
Made in India, taste of India. And it goes to the world also now.
For any company to grow, it needs talent. Talent comes with motivation. Talent comes with financial remuneration. If an organization, which is a corporate organization, if the objective is not to make money, but to serve people, then how do you attract talent?
This is again the vision of Dr. Kurian. As I mentioned, for young generation, like the times when we joined 33 years back, is driven by purpose. When you are able to contribute something to the society, and cooperatives give you that opportunity. But the hardcore professional talent comes from an institute which Dr. Kurian set up in 1980, which is Institute of Rural Management, again based in Anand. They get the best of young students from across the country. They are trained in rural management, oriented to the rural sector, and guided how they can contribute to the growth of the country. So this is where I joined in IRMA in the 10th batch. Many of my colleagues, and every year 30, 40 of them from IRMA and several management institutes join us. They work in an environment which is even tougher or better than a corporate environment, but they know very clearly they are working for somebody who is less privileged than them, which is a small Indian farmer. So this is where we get the best of the talent. And obviously when the brand is #1 in the country, Amul is the largest FMCG brand with more than 80,000 crore turnover. And
can I say Amul is India's biggest FMCG company?
Yes, by far.
It's just that we don't talk about it.
Yes.
We normally tend to think that some of the MNCs are the biggest FMCG companies in India, but Amul is now can be India's biggest FMCG company. I mean, what an extraordinary achievement. It's just so proud when you report. It's been my privilege to report about Amul as member of a press, and it's just now I know that small changes, it may sound easy, but you're managing the complexity of the supply chain so beautifully. So if I have a time machine, and let's say this is 2030, what do you think we would be discussing about Amul? Where do you think Amul would go in the next 5 years?
So two great opportunities for Amul. The growth in the Indian market, the way in which Indian economy is growing, and as I mentioned, the opportunity for Indian consumers is very, very huge. So my belief is that India can add actually one Amul every year.
One Amul
every year. Because India produces 63 crore liters of milk every day. Amul handles 3 crore liters of milk.
So what are these, sir?
So these are the truffles. These are chocolates which you see, which are multi-flavored chocolates. You can see this.
पहले आप मुंह मीठा करें.
हाँ करते हैं. इसमें मुंह हर फ्लेवर का मुंह आप फ्लेवर ले सकते हैं इसका.
मैं इतना कह सकता हूँ, I feel like a child in a candy store. मन करता पूरा का पूरा बहुत घर ले चलूँ.
Yes, that's the best part of this year. Amul handles 3 crore liters of milk a day. If 5%...
What are these, sir? What are these?
This is the new variant of chocolate. Okay. This is a premium milk chocolate that we have recently launched. This is a chocolate which we patented, and this is a melt in the mouth thing. So we got a patent for this particular chocolate. And this is the best chocolate which Indians love.
Your favorite कौन सी है?
Is 99% dark.
Which is your favorite?
I love this.
You love this?
Yes, it is as kadwa as zahar, but once you have it, you will not have any chocolate.
How big is the biggest? And you are number 8. So if you have to become number 5.
So from the number 1 is handling close to 27 million metric tons of milk, or 27 billion liters of milk. We are handling 11 to 12 billion liters.
So you have to become more than double.
More than double.
In 10 years, can you become the biggest in the world?
Yes, we can. We realistically give 10 to 12 years, but I'm sure the kind of efforts happening in the space of cooperatives, the efforts being done by the new Ministry of Cooperation in the country, new multi-state cooperatives coming up for exports, for organics, for seeds, Amul model from 2 lakh villages in India, spreading up to another 2 lakh of the remaining 5 lakh villages in the next 5 to 10 years, more milk coming into the organized sector, more women, their role being recognized, money directly flowing into their bank accounts. So these are the strong tailwinds for the cooperative sector.
So if I say that in the next 8 to 10 years, there is not a probability, but there is a strong possibility that Amul could be the biggest cooperative dairy company in the world, I will not be wrong.
आपके मुंह में घी सकते हैं. चलिए.
यहाँ तो चॉकलेट है तो हमारे मुंह में चॉकलेट बोलते हैं. Mr. Mehta, now this time there is a view in the economy that rural economy is under pressure and urban economy is doing okay. What is the reality?
As far as I talk about Amul and our farmers and the members, Amul actually every day buys milk worth 200 crore rupees for the farmers. So that much money continues to be poured in the rural economy. We operate in every single geography of the country. 38% of our turnover comes from smaller towns with population less than 20,000. We are seeing a good growth. It's almost double-digit growth, not just in dairy products, in milk also, and across the categories. So I'm particularly not too worried about the slowdown or a rural demand dipping or any pressure in the urban side. Thankfully, because we have a portfolio which is very balanced and both fresh, frozen, long life, ambient, and so on. So unlike most companies who have been listed and who report their numbers with no growth or minus 1 or 2%, our quarter-on-quarter growth has been also pretty good, and we should be fine in the
What were the numbers, if you can share with us?
No, so this overall growth in the dairy products, the consumer space was more than 10%. In fresh products is about 14-15%. And this summer, as the beginning has been very good. Ice creams are going by 40%. Beverages been growing very well in double digits. Curd, buttermilk, all growing 30-40%. So it's a good beginning of the new quarter, also the summer season. And overall also, we see a lot of increase and optimism in the market, people moving in from loose to packaged and branded. Amul being the most trusted, widely available, most affordable brand, gets the maximum traction.
Are you growing because you're gaining market share or others are losing?
Yes, growth comes both ways. Expansion of the market has been a bigger focus for us, and obviously taking on competition is an important part. So we've seen, as per the independent market research data and the market retail audit reports, we have seen a good growth in market share. In butter we are more than 85-90%, so gains are marginal. But in cheese also we've been a double-digit growth. In dairy whiteners there's been a good growth. Packaged milk, dahi, ice cream, all the products which are reported, there's been a good growth year on year.
Every time Amul increases prices by 2 rupees a liter also becomes a national headline. Why is that?
See, milk is a product which touches everyone. So it's not the impact on your budget, but it's the sentiment which matters. And we respect that, because end of the day it's the consumers which make the brand. We educate our customers telling that inflation to consumers is also income to the producer, because more than 85% share goes back in any case to the farmer, who also is a victim of the inflation which is there generally. I'm happy to say, at least from the consumer point of view, for the last 15 months there will be no increase in price of Amul pouch milk.
But milk prices have gone up off late in the open market is what I understand.
This is what is a seasonal effect. It happens. Summer may the prices definitely go up. But again, our exposure on the commodity prices is very less. Commodity markets is very less. International commodity markets is very less, where you see the volatility which I just mentioned. In a consumer space, if you are able to build a brand, reduce the dependence on commodities, I don't think there is anything stopping.
What impact summer and erratic rain has on your demand?
Last year it was very, very strong, because the summer was badly affected, and we couldn't, though we grew by more than 20% in ice creams, the growth was not as per our expectations. So, but this year things should be pretty okay. And with this, the main summer products, which are, as I mentioned, the beverages, the ice creams, the dahi, chas, and so on, very large volume products, if we get a growth there, and then if it's followed with a good monsoon, which means good milk will come in the subsequent winter season. So overall the situation is very positive this year.
So can I say this summer is projected to be a harsh one?
Yes.
Heat waves and everything.
Yes.
And Amul is in for a bumper demand for the at least cooling categories. When I say cooling categories,
yes.
Dahi, chas, lassi.
Yes.
And the growth could be 20 to 30%.
Yes, more than that. And we have enough commodities in stock. There is no shortage of milk per se. And this is strong pricing support also.
And if we get a good monsoon this year, after 2 years of patchy monsoon, what would be the impact of that?
It will be very good, because end of the day, Indian agriculture supports Indian dairy industry. And once you have good availability of green fodder, dry fodder, and the maize crops and stocks and all that, it will mean fodder security for our farmers and water security also, which means they will prosper.
The per capita in India will grow as the economy will grow. We will consume more, we will go up the value chain. Where is that big trend moving in terms of dairy consumption? What are we consuming right now, and what are we likely to consume in the next 5 years?
So look at the latest NSSO data which came out. The single largest item in the food, and in fact in the general expense of an Indian household, is dairy. It's milk and milk products.
Oh, it's not grains or it is not.
No. So this is the NSSO data.
It's more than fruits and vegetables
Yes,
also.
we knew all this while, but this is on record. So which means every Indian today is consuming 350, 400, 450, depends on what incomes you are, of milk and milk products every day, every month, every year. So market base is very strong. Again, the impact of growth in economy is much higher on milk. So if you say your income rises by 100, the consumption of milk and milk products will rise by 110. So because it's a very positive impact on that. So as the Indian economy grows, which has been growing at a very nice rate of 7-8% and continues to be projected like that, the best of growth will come in the dairy sector, because people will consume more of milk and milk products which are good in nutrients like fat, calcium, protein and so on. And obviously there's enough supply in the market, so which will take care of the...
And over the years, the way milk production is growing, even if per capita demand goes higher, we are not going to be feeling a feel of shortage or any kind of uptake in demand.
No. In fact, India has the opportunity to be a dairy to the world.
We have surplus milk production in India?
So today, 1/4 of the total milk, about 24% of the total milk in the world is being produced in India. Indian growth rate is 3 times more than the world growth rate, which means the world growth rate is dependent on India's growth rate. Going by the current trends, in the next 10 years, more than 1/3 of the total milk in the world is going to be produced in India. So वो 24% से हिस्सा बढ़ के 33% तक हो जाएगा, which means you will get an opportunity to sell milk and milk products internationally, and that also perhaps explains our way in which we are trying to go around the world, and the vision which Honorable Prime Minister gave us to be the biggest and strongest dairy in the world. This is the direction we are moving towards. Indians will consume more and more milk, and there will be surplus milk which we'll try to find a market in different parts of the world.
So from an immediate market standpoint, let me recap our last leg of the interview. You think there is, for Amul, there is no slowdown. You are of the view that this could be an exciting and a bumper summer season for you.
Yes.
If the rainfall is great, milk prices will come down.
In a way, it won't come down because seasonal impact is there. But if they remain steady also, it's very good for the farmers.
And there is no internal thought right now that you want to increase milk prices in the foreseeable future.
No, there's no such reason as of now to do so.
So, जब अमूल कोई नया food product या product launch करता है, and when you take it home, how does your wife and your daughter react?
See, you have the biggest critics sitting back home, and you are always on the toes. But then it's the voice of consumer which matters, and that's what we have to continuously listen, not just at home but anywhere, and try to find out message and meaning out of it, and see that you continue to keep up to the expectations of the new set of customers, the Gen Zs, the millennials, and the tomorrow's customer. And many of them don't even speak out what they want. But we know that if each one of us has to consume 1 gram of protein per kg of body weight, Amul has to be the solution. If we want to eat food without pesticides, Amul Organics is the solution. So this is the opportunity which we have. And there are certain things we do proactively without anybody asking. We sell 30 lakh liters of buttermilk, chaas, in pouches every day at 30 rupees a liter. Few months back, we converted this entire thing into probiotic. So not a single extra rupee charged to the customer, but the goodness of a probiotic bacteria given to such a large number of consumers across the country, even without anybody asking to. So that's our contribution to building the immunity of the country. And this is what you have to do proactively, because as a brand, as a responsible brand for the country, this is an opportunity for you, and why not leverage it?
So I think if I close the show by saying that Amul is not the taste of India, it is the taste of India, and also it's the immunity of India now.
Yes, of course. I mean, milk is a very important part in building its immunity, not just immunity. The muscles, the bones, everything else. It's a superfood by itself. So more you contribute, more you create awareness about it, more you make it widely available in a multiple of forms, across price points, across regions, I'm sure the job is well done.
Mr. Mehta, you know, so nice of you to give us so much of time and give us a tour of the chocolate factory and walk us through the history of Amul. You know, it's just been such a privilege for ET now to really come to this factory and talk about Amul. It is not taste of India, which is what we all know Amul for, but it is the whole purpose. It is the whole connection, and it is the whole objective. What I think Amul has managed to really, you know, achieve is itself extraordinary. A lot of people tell me that Amul is part of an Harvard case study. But then I tell people that, look, it is not Harvard, it is the hard work which in a sense has ensured that whatever Amul has contributed. Thank you so very much for
Thank
having
you so
us,
much for
and
being
thank
here.
you.
And a great pleasure, and I hope you enjoyed the factory.
Thank you very
And
much.